Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Gopi Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana 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 यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन 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 यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी 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 जय जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद्भजनवृंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद् भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, मायापुर नवदीप धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की, समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamishcham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamishcham He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, devotees, for taking your time on the Saturday evening. Thanks to Agishri Mataji and Raveen Prabhu for opening their homes, and not only just opening their home but also preparing nice feast for all of us. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Mataji. And I'm sure Radhika must have helped a lot. Okay. So this once a monthly program, we have been discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. We started with the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam last time. And just to do the little recap, we had discussed about the demigods approaching the Bhumi Devi. Demigods actually, along with Bhumi Devi, approaching this Brahma. And Bhumi Devi expressing her plight to the Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma, finding himself incapable to relieve the distress of Mother Earth, taking all the devatas along with Lord Shiva, goes to Kshirosagar and they plead to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu communicates to Brahma through the medium of mind that he will appear soon to relieve the earth from its burden. And Brahma, after communicating this, returns to his own abode. And then Brahma also communicates the order of the Lord that all devatas should appear on the earth to assist him in his pastimes. And the demigods started appearing in different dynasties, Kshatriya dynasties. And we discussed one such dynasty was Yaduvamsha, Vrishni and Yadus. So in that dynasty appeared Shurasena, who was son of the king Devamidha. And after the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki, when they were going towards their residence after marriage, Kamsa, driving the chariot of Vasudeva and Devaki, taking them to their home. I think we discussed till then, right? So, Kamsa, he was expressing so much affection for Devaki. And Kamsa, he actually was one of the most cruel person in Yadu dynasty. He was very powerful. We discussed last time how powerful he was. He actually went on a conquest to conquer all the different demoniac people. And he brought all the demons under his control by fighting with all of them. So when Kamsa heard the celestial voice, the devatas, from hiding from the clouds, when they saw that Kamsa was exhibiting so much affection for Devaki, the devatas became concerned. Because all the demigods, they know that Lord Hari has one peculiar quality. He does not pick up quarrels with anyone unnecessarily. No. In fact, in the Vedas, there is one particular verse. I'm not able to recollect the verse, but the verse says, the Lord Hari never ever attacks anyone unnecessarily. No. You see, demigods knew that Lord Ramchandra, if he became the king of Ayodhya, he will never confront Ravana. So in order for him to confront Ravana, it's necessary for him to leave Ayodhya and go to the forest. So they inspired Manthara. So they were making arrangement for Lord's audience with Ravana and some way to create animosity between Lord and Ravana. Because the Lord has one peculiar quality. He will never ever go attacking any demons. So demigods, they saw that, Kamsa has so much affection for Devaki. And Krishna is going to appear as their son, Vasudeva and Devaki's son. So there has to be some reason for Krishna to fight with Kamsa. If Kamsa is so affectionate to Devaki, that means, this uncle is so affectionate to his mother and fathers. Why will Krishna pick up quarrel with him? So demigods were very concerned, but at the same time very fearful also, right? Because Kamsa had already defeated Indra and all the devatas, as we discussed last time, right? How during the battle, Kamsa actually defeated and brought all the demigods under their control, under his control. So they were afraid At the same time, they wanted to create some uh, situation where Kamsa becomes, there should be an animosity between Kamsa and Krishna. The Lord is going to appear. So, hiding from the clouds, they announced to Kamsa. Now they are afraid of Kamsa. They cannot come in front of Kamsa. So, although they are going to announce something that will create animosity between Krishna and his parent, Krishna's parents and Kamsa, they don't want to identify themselves that they are the one who are giving this information. So behind the cloud, they speak to Kamsa. Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister, but you don't know the eighth child of this very sister will kill you. So now the Acharyas sometimes put the question that why do the demigods have to do this? You know, if they are afraid, then they should keep their mouth shut, right? They know that Krishna is appearing, he will create situation. But because they're supposed to assist the Lord, at the same time, because they are devatas, they are not fully pure, right? So they have some grudge also. We want to tell this rascal that he's going to be killed. So out of that anger, right, they also want to chastise him. You rascal, you are driving the chariot of your sister. Her eighth child is going to kill you. Sometimes you feel, sometimes you can't, you know, express your anger towards someone. Then you express in a hiding way, right? Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur gives the example, that there was a British officer, and what was his name? The British officer, his name was, so there was a Bengali gentleman who hated this British officer. I'm forgetting the name. You can say XYZ, whatever name the British officer had. So this Bengali gentleman who hated this British officer, he kept two pet dogs. And both the dogs he named as this British officer's name. So, and British people, they keep the dogs, right? So they feel honored. So he went to Bengali gentleman and he said, what made you choose my name and give to your dogs? So he said, because I cannot call you dog. At least I can call at least a dog I can call by your name. So similarly, demigods, they had that kind of feeling towards Kamsa. So therefore, they actually spoke hiding from the clouds. And because Kamsa, he was sinful, immediately hearing this celestial omen, he became angry. Now, ordinary people think, well, if he knows that a child of Devaki is going to kill him, if he's killing Devaki, there's nothing wrong. So right now he's expressing so much love for Devaki that, he's becoming a chariot driver. I mean, we are hearing chariot driver, but in those days, becoming chariot driver for someone is a very, very menial service. So, of course, nowadays people driving car for somebody, they feel, great privilege, but driving chariot for somebody was considered a very menial service. Krishna, when he took the, role of chariot driver for Arjun, it was actually very menial service. So, Kamsa taking the role of chariot driver was actually exhibiting such an immense love and affection for his sister. And people who were actually assembled on both the sides of the road, where they seeing Kamsa, they were actually thinking, we know this person is so cruel, but how is he so much affectionate to his sister? But they were actually appreciating Kamsa's that quality, that, oh, at least he's having affection for someone, right? But the very moment he heard the celestial voice, with his left hand he caught hold of the hair of Devaki, with right hand took out the sword, ready to chop off her head. Now just imagine. Now, the moment he's expressing his love for the sister, and next moment he want to kill the sister. And all the people on both sides of the road, they started, screaming and, condemning Kamsa actually. Now, of course, they were making loud noise, but nobody could dare to condemn Kamsa in front of him. But in the mind, they were actually condemning him. So what kind of sinful and heinous person he is? He wants to kill his sister? But when Vasudeva, when he saw this, he caught hold of Kamsa and he started reasoning with him. So first and foremost, Kamsa said, my dear, Vasudeva actually told Kamsa, my dear Kamsa, you are such a great hero. How is it that you are ready to kill your sister, a woman? You are a powerful warrior. And a warrior killing a woman, and that too your own sister, and that too at the time of her marriage. It's not befitting to you. So he pleaded with Kamsa in three ways. First of all, you are a great warrior. Warriors don't kill a woman. Women are generally called abala. Abala means, they are not so powerful. They cannot really fight a battle. Of course, nowadays women also go in the army. That's a different thing. But actually speaking, in general, it's very difficult for women to, deal with the battlefield, the bloodshed on the battlefield. So, killing a woman was considered very, very abominable for a Kshatriya, especially a great hero, Kamsa, who had conquered so many demons all over the world. And he said, and that woman is also not an ordinary woman, she's your own sister. The younger sister is considered like a daughter. The elder brother is supposed to protect and nurture the younger sister like a daughter. And that too at the time of her marriage, very auspicious moment, you want to kill your sister. But Kamsa didn't care. Vasudeva actually told Kamsa, my dear Kamsa, mrityu janmavatam veera dehena sahajayate. Adyavabda shatanteva mrityu vai pranina dhruvam. He said, my dear Kamsa, my dear Veera, hero, mrityu janmavatam veera dehena sahajayate. The death of all the living beings is born along with their birth. As soon as the body is born, your death is born along with it. Right? Adyava abda shatanteva. The death may come now or it may come after 100 years. Okay? But death is going to come for sure. Right? Adyava abda shatanteva mrityu vai pranina dhuvam. The death is certain for all the living beings. So you are so much afraid of death, but death is going to come anyway. It may come now, it may come after 100 years. So you're going to die anyway. Even if you're not afraid of this child, if this child doesn't kill you, somebody else will kill you. You will be dead. Sooner or later, everybody has to die. You don't have to kill your sister for that. Now just imagine, Krishna spoke exactly similar words. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur, dhruva janma mritasya cha. He spoke to Arjun, my dear Arjun, death is certain for all living beings. Therefore, kill your relatives. And here father is speaking same thing to Kamsa. Don't kill your sister. Same verse, same philosophy, but different application. Right? And then he told Kamsa, my dear Kamsa, change of the body is inevitable. Just like when a person is walking on the street, it's actually a wonderful phenomena. When we walk, we don't realize it's very natural for us. But how we walk, we put our foot on the ground, and when the front foot is firmly fixed on the ground, then only we take our second foot and go forward, right? right? When the one foot is firmly on the ground, then only we take our foot to go forward. So Vasudeva said, this body is nothing but a result of our karma. And when our karma is like a walking, you know, so your karma is exhausted, then you leave this body and you will go to next body. You know? And when again the karma in that body is over, you will leave that body and go to next body. You'll keep taking steps forward. You know, just like a person walking on the road, when his foot is firmly situated on the ground, then he leaves this foot and takes the foot forward. Similarly, when our karma is exhausted in this body and our next body is already prepared according to our karma, we leave this body and we go to next body. Perhaps he must have seen some worm on the trees. He said, just see that worm on the leaf, from one leaf, how carefully he's going to another leaf. You know, because his legs are firmly fixed on the next leaf, he's leaving the previous leaf. Mm. So similarly, all the living beings, they change their bodies in due course of time. You shouldn't be worried about change of the body and engage in sinful activities of killing your own sister. And he also explained in that impious and envious acts, they can actually become the cause of great fear in this lifetime and next life also. So if you engage in the sinful activity of killing a woman who's your sister, then you will be committing a great sin. That will become a great source of fear for you in this life, in the next life also. It's actually a reality. You know, when whenever the fearful situation arises in anyone's life, it's because of some past karma. If you have not caused harm to anyone, you will never confront a fearful situation in life. No. But because we inevitably, knowingly or unknowingly, cause harm to different living entities, therefore, a fearful situation arises for everyone in life. In fact, um, I remember His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj was sharing once that he was talking to one of the Brajabasis who told him, that if you have never caused harm to any living entity, any violence to any other living entities, and if you have humility at the heart, you can pass through the dense forest, you know, filled with ferocious animals, and you will come out unharmed. So the two things, you have to understand. One is, if you have never caused harm to other living entities, then they don't have karma. You know. But at the same time, if you have arrogance in your heart, that I am better than other living entities, some living entity will attack you. But if you have humility that actually all living beings are better than me, even if some lion attacks me, he'll probably eat my body and fill his belly. It's okay. My body will be utilized in some way. If you have that mentality, then he said even the lion will leave you alone. He will never attack you. Because Paramatma is there in heart, right? Every living entity is heart. He guides the living entities. So he pleaded to Kamsa, please don't kill your sister Devaki. But because Kamsa, he was a very cruel and hard-hearted, demoniac being, he was not pacified. He was still insistent on killing Devaki. So Vasudeva started thinking that this is a dangerous situation right now. Vasudeva thinking that Devaki is about to be killed, and the reason is the children. The eighth child of her is causing great fear in Kamsa. So he started thinking, if somehow that I can convince Kamsa that I'll give him all the children, then he might, deviate from his determination. And moreover, if it is already destined that he's going to be killed at the eighth child of Devaki, then it might be that he might be killed. And if he's killed, then my children will be safe. At least my eighth child will be safe. And who knows, there will be children or no children. Sometime the husband, wife, they don't even get a child, right? So he said to Kamsa, thinking all these pros and cons, he told Kamsa, Kamsa, listen, for now you are safe. You don't have any fear from Dev. Devaki is not going to kill you, right? You heard some omen that the eighth child of her was going to kill you. So here's the promise. I promise you, whatever children are born of Devaki, I will hand over them to you. You can do whatever you want with them. Now Kamsa, he knew the value of Vasudev's word of honor. If Vasudeva is promising something, that means he will fulfill his promise no matter what. So hearing this, he actually became very uh, sober, and he released Devaki. Of course, he didn't continue on the chariot as a chariot driver, you know. But he let Vasudeva and Devaki go. So now, of course, Vasudeva and Devaki left and they went to their home, praising Kamsa. And after that, Devaki actually gave one after another birth to 8 male children and 1 female child. The female child was known as Subhadra, and 8 male children were born. Now, before we go further into this, this side of the story, we understand from the verdict of the Vaishnava Acharyas that Krishna, he not only appeared as son of Devaki, but he also appeared in Gokul. So let's try to go other side in the Gokul. So, as we discussed, King Devamida, he was a very pious king in Yaduvansh, in Yadukul. And he had 2 wives. One was a Kshatrani from a Kshatriya family, and other one was from Abhira caste, from Vaishya caste kind of thing. So the Kshatriya wife gave birth to a son named Shura, who became known as Shurasen later on. And Shurasen gave birth to Vasudeva and many other children. The Vaishya wife of King Devamida, she gave birth to a son named Parajanya. So Parajanya Maharaj, because he was born of Vaishya wife, he became kind of a king for Gokul of a Vaishya community. And he became known as Vaishya. He had 5 sons: Upananda, Sananda, Nanda, Nandana, and 1 more son. In total, 5 sons he had. So Nanda was the 3rd son. So Parajanya Maharaj, although he was known as Vaishya, but he had the qualities of a great Vaishnava. He was a very wonderful Vaishnava. He dedicated his life for serving the cows and Brahmanas. And he became known as a very great Vaishnava. So, when Parajanya Maharaj was retiring, he wanted to hand over his kingdom to Upananda, the eldest son. Now, the eldest son Upananda, he knew that his younger brother Nanda, who was actually 3rd, brother, was the most qualified and virtuous person. So when his father was about to hand over his responsibilities and ownership of his kingdom to Upananda, Upananda actually told his father, "My dear father, I think my brother Nanda, he's the most qualified and he's very dear to all the subjects. So he should become the king. If you don't mind, I will assist him. I'll become his assistant and let him become the king." And Nanda was a little hesitant, but the instruction of his elder brother, he accepted it. And of course, Nanda was married to uh, another cowherd man, his daughter, whose name was also Devaki. So she was married to Nanda. But this Devaki, she had such wonderful virtues. She became known as Yashoda. And she would actually control all the relatives through her virtuous and loving qualities. She had so many, wonderful qualities that everybody was simply charmed by her nature. So all the relatives were actually very much lovingly subordinate to her. So somehow this Nanda and Yashoda, you know, they so Nanda Maharaj actually became the king of cowherd community. You know. So when he was about to be coronated as a king, the son is supposed to take some education from the father, some key principles. So that time, Nanda Maharaj, he inquired from Parajanya Maharaj. He asked the four questions. You know. And it's actually very wonderful because Parajanya Maharaj was a great Vaishnava. You know. He gave the response which is actually very uh, worthy for our meditation. So, first and foremost question Nanda Maharaj asked was, my dear father, what is the cause of fear in this world? Now, see, all of us confront fearful situations, right? So, he asked him, what is the cause of fear in this world? And Parjanya Maharaj said, it is karma. Our karma, our actions are the cause of fear. When we perform the activities which are meant for harming others or ill attitude towards others, those kind of karma become the foundation for our fears in life. So Nanda Maharaj asked, okay, so if karma is the cause of fear, then what is the shelter from this fear? How can we be relieved from this fear? Yeah. So what is the shelter? And Parjana Maharaj said, because we understand, right, karma is such a complicated mesh. You cannot destroy, you cannot get rid of karma. It's so complicated. No. Parjana Maharaj said, bhakti or devotional service is the only shelter. Rupa Goswami also says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right, that bhakti is like frying all the karma seeds in ghee. Once you fry the seeds in ghee, you put them in the water or in the ground and keep them watering. Do you think they will ever sprout? No, right? So bhakti is like frying the seeds of karma. They will never sprout again. You know? So Parjanya Maharaj said, bhakti is the only shelter from the fearful situation. So if you want to be free from fears, you have to take to the process of bhakti or devotional service. Nanda Maharaj asked, okay, so bhakti is the shelter from fear. But then what is the most cherished object? What is the most desirable thing in this world? You know, what we should aspire for. Because mostly our activities should be towards achieving something, right? So he said, what is the most cherished object in this world? What we should aspire for? And Parjanya Maharaj said, it is the association of Vaishnavas. The Sangha, devotees association is the most cherished or desirable object. So, if you have any other cherished object, try to take inventory. If you even attain that, will it make your life worthy? No matter what you aspire for. If you don't have association of Vaishnavas, association of devotees, even if you attained everything that you aspire for, how will be your life? Just think over. You know, sometime I, talk to devotees And I remember sometimes some devotee told me that their aspiration was to earn immense wealth. Immense wealth. So just imagine if somebody gives you offer, okay, all the wealth in San Jose is yours. All the homes, all the cars, everything that exists in the city of San Jose is yours from today. But you will be living alone here. Nobody else will be with you. Will you accept that proposal? Just imagine you are sitting here alone. All the homes are empty. They are all yours. But you are alone. It'll be like ghost town, right? How many people would like to have that? No sane person will take it, right? That proposal. So, the most cherished object is not the wealth, not the possessions of this world, not the best cars or nice clothing or the best spouse or nice children. Parajana Maharaj said, the most cherished object is the association of the devotees of the Lord. So, final question Nanda Maharaj asked is, okay, so if we aspire for association of devotees, what kind of happiness we are looking for in their association? What is the happiness we will derive by having the association of devotees? Prajani Maharaj said, Krishna Prem. Love for the Supreme Lord is the happiness that you will attain through the association of devotees. So just imagine Nanda Maharaj, before taking over the kingdom of Kahor community, he got these four wonderful instructions from his father. You know, the cause of fear is karma. The only shelter is to relieve from that fear is bhakti. And bhakti can be done very nicely in the association of devotees. And through that association, you will attain Krishna Prema, the true happiness. So Nanda and Yashoda, they had actually conquered the hearts of all the uh, inhabitants of Gokul, all the Kahut community. They loved both Nanda and Yashoda. But for a long time, Nanda and Yashoda had no child. So, of course, in those days, people were expert in performing yagyas. So these cowherd men, they arranged with the help of Brahmanas to do some putreshti yagya. But Nanda Maharaj, in his heart, he was desiring that I want to have the most wonderful child. I don't want just any child. I want to have the most wonderful child in all of creations, not in material creation alone. In all of creation, the most wonderful child I want. That was the innermost desire he had. So, although the cowherd men performed Putreshi Yagya, it bare no fruit. They couldn't have child. It's very unusual when the qualified Brahmanas perform Yagya, it fails. So the qualified Brahmanas performed the Yagya for Nanda and Yashoda, but no child was born. So Nanda Maharaj actually discussing with Yashoda that, in the innermost desire I have is to have the most wonderful child as my son. So all these friends and family members of ours, they are performing Yagya for us to have some child. But I don't want to have some child. I want to have only most wonderful child. And I think that child is not possible by any karmas, by performing any yagyas or Vedic rituals. I think it's possible only by the mercy of Supreme Lord Narayan that we can have such a child. So Yashoda said, then we should perform some penances to please the Lord Narayan. So Nanda Maharaj said, what kind of penances we should do? So Mother Yashoda said, we should perform Ekadashi Vrata and on Dwadashi day worship Lord Narayan. The purpose of Ekadashi Vrata is not simply to fast on Ekadashi, but actually on Dwadashi we are supposed to worship Lord Narayan or Lord Krishna with great opulence. So Ekadashi is supposed to be fasting day when we actually refrain from eating grains. and we prepare our body and mind, because when you fast, then your body naturally becomes a little weak, and your mind becomes actually more purified and sattvic. So with that mind, we worship the Lord on the Dwadashi day. That's the purpose. you know. It's not that Ekadashi somehow that you say Ekadashi dupat khashi, right? You eat double on Ekadashi. But even if you fast on Ekadashi, not that Dwadashi you have feast, but the purpose of course, you can have feast on Dwadashi, but the purpose is to, you know, next day early morning, you actually perform Abhishek of the Lord. The deity's Abhishek, and then worship the Lord nicely. Because your mind will be so purified and body will be anyway a little weak. The senses will not be so much agitated, and mind will be more purified. You can actually serve the Lord with love and devotion. So Yashodamai said that we should perform Dwadashi Vrata, pleasing the Lord. Because according to Tithis also, Ekadashi is considered the day of Rudra. Ekadashi Tithi is actually primarily ruled by Rudra, Lord Shiva. Dwadashi is ruled by Lord Vishnu. So our Ekadashi Vrata is actually Dwadashi Pradhan Ekadashi Vrata. It's not that we just simply fast on Ekadashi, but we simply prepare ourselves on Ekadashi to worship the Lord on Dwadashi day. That's the purpose. So they actually performed that Ekadashi Vrata, with dedication and love, worshipping Lord Narayan on Dwadashi day for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, actually Nanda was telling Yashoda that I'm always seeing a beautiful dark complexion child playing in your lap, and the milk is flowing from your breast. And whenever I see that child, I feel so much attracted. I don't want any other child. I want that child only, that I'm seeing in my imagination or in my meditation. So at the end of 1 year, Lord Narayan appeared to both Nanda and Yashoda in the dream. And he told them that whatever child you desire soon will be appearing as your child. And your desire to possess that wonderful child will be fulfilled. So when Nanda and Yashoda, they woke up, they became very happy that Lord Narayan has blessed us in this dream. So they were telling everyone, in their cohort community, and everybody was filled with joy. Everybody was so happy. It was during this time that the one of the elderly lady, her name was Purnamasi, she arrived with her grandchild Madhumangal in uh, in Gokul. And Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they welcomed her very well. They had practically tears in their eyes, and they actually spoke to Purnamasi, that you should actually live with us in Gokul. We'll build you a cottage on the bank of river Yamuna. So please live with us here. So they actually built a cottage for her, and Purnamasi actually made her residence in Vrindavan. So before Krishna's appearance, Purnamasi is one who actually orchestrates all the Leelas of the Lord. She appeared in Vrindavan, along with Madhumangal, her grandchild. And the day Purnamasi arrived, same day, Rohini, the another wife of Vasudev, she, out of fear of Kamsa, left Mathura and came to uh, Gokul. She also arrived in Gokul, and she was actually pregnant that time when she arrived. So it was during this time that the first day of the month of Magh, of the waning moon, Yashoda actually started serving Nanda Maharaj. You know? And Nanda Maharaj actually saw that the Supreme Lord appearing in his heart. And from her heart, he was transferred to the heart of um, Yashoda. No. And this child was actually covered by the glare of potency. The child's potency was covering this child. So that potency entered into the womb of Yashoda, but the child stayed in the heart of Yashoda. No. No. And that child is actually none other than Shyamasundar Krishna. And the Yogamaya, who actually covers Krishna, she actually entered into her womb as her child. So Yashoda had twins. One child was living in her heart and one was in her womb. So now on this side, when Vasudeva and Devaki, they went home, Devaki delivered the first child. So Vasudeva was very much fearful of becoming a liar. You know, he had promised Kamsa that I will deliver all my children to you. So he brought the very first child, whose name was Kirtiman. He had named him Kirtiman. He brought it to Kamsa, and he handed over the child to Kamsa. And Kamsa, when he saw the child, he told Vasudeva, "Well, I have no fear from this child. You can take him back. It is the eighth child of you and Devaki that I am concerned with, because I've heard that he's going to kill me. So you can take this child back." So Vasudeva was very happy with this behavior of Kamsa. But at the heart, he knew, I cannot trust Kamsa. Because, as Bhagavatam says, Yasyasti bhakti bhagvat akinchana sarvair gunair tatra samasata sura harav abhaktasya kuto mahad guna manorathena sati dhavato vahi. Because abhakta, like Kamsa, he cannot be trusted because he's seated on the chariot of his mind. So right now he's saying, okay, take your child back. But when he will change his decision, you don't know. And that's what actually happened. Narad Muni heard that Kamsa had such change of heart. He gave the child back to Vasudeva. So he went to meet Kamsa. Now, of course, this character of Narad Muni is very difficult to understand. And often most misunderstood character. But he's considered the incarnation of Lord's mind. Bhagavatam says, Narad Muni is the incarnation of Lord's mind. That means whatever is in the mind of the Lord, that's what Narad Muni does. So Narad Muni doesn't do, anything independently. He does only whatever Lord desires. So Lord's mind is reflected through Narada's actions. So Narad Muni went to Kamsa and, he told Kamsa, my dear Kamsa, I have come to reveal you some secrets. I actually went to heavenly planets and there was some meeting going on. Ishtagoshti was going on in demigods. How to kill Kamsa. That was the subject of that Ishtagoshti. So I heard there that all the devatas are going to appear here on the earth. Vishnu will also appear, but all the devatas are appearing in Yadu Vamsha to assist him. So, and moreover, you heard, what was the omen that you heard? Kamsa said, the eighth child of Devaki. Oh, eighth child of Devaki. So he was holding a lotus flower in his hand. So he told Kamsa, Kamsa, this lotus had 8 petals. Can you tell me which is first and which is eighth? And Kamsa got confused. What do you mean? No, tell me which is first and which is eighth. If you start from here, this becomes eighth. If you start from here, this becomes eighth. So you heard the omen eighth child of Devaki, but eighth from where? From front or back or middle? Where? The demigods are very tricky. You don't know. Any child could be eighth child. So Kamsa got so fearful. My God, मतलब ऐसा भी होता है? Is it possible like this also? He said, yeah, devatas, you don't know. Demigods are very tricky. you know. And then he also revealed to Kamsa that actually Kamsa, let me tell you, all these Yaduvamshis, Rishni Vamshis, they are devatas. So he said, I'm also in that kul, right? Kamsa said, I'm also in that family, so I'm also devata. He said, no, you are not devata. You are Rakshas Kula. And then he revealed to him that actually one time your mother, Padmavati, she was on the roof of her palace, and one demon named Drumala, he was going in the airplane. He saw your mother, he got attracted to her. He came down taking the disguise of Ugrasen Maharaj. He had union with your mother, and that's how you are born. You are not son of Ugrasena. You are son of that Drumila, Rakshasa. He's a demon. So you are actually from demoniac Vamsha. Although you are known as son of Ugrasen, but you are not son of Ugrasen. You are son of Drumila. And all these are devatas, they are getting here to kill you. They are surrounding you. So hearing this, Kamsa became more fearful. And on top of it, Narad told him that in last life also you were actually demon, Kalnemi. And you are killed by Vishnu. And same Vishnu is coming again to kill you. And these devatas will support him. So Kamsa became so convinced and furious that, okay, all the children being born in this family are anyway devatas or Vishnu. I have to get rid of all of them. So he immediately went and got Vasudeva and Devaki arrested and took the child, first child, and smashed it on the stone right in front of Devaki. No. And Vasudeva Devaki, because they were imprisoned, year after year, Devaki gave birth to 6 children. 6 boys were born. And every time Kamsa would come and kill the child, Devaki would be pleading to him, my dear brother, please don't kill him. He's just a small child. But Kamsa, because he was a demon, he didn't care. He had no mercy or compassion or even consideration that he's killing small children. When the Devaki became pregnant for 7th time, that time the Supreme Lord, he called his Yogamaya potency. And he told her that Rohini, who is living in Gokul, no, you need to take the child from Devaki's womb, the 7th pregnancy of Devaki, and transfer it to the womb of Rohini. No. And then you should appear as the daughter of Yashoda, as my sister. So this is the verdict the Lord told you. You'll appear as my sister. So if she's going to appear as a sister, that means the Lord also has to appear, right? So that's how Nanda and Yashoda, they had twin children. Although it mentions only daughter, but the Vaishnava Acharyas explained there were two children born of Yashoda, a son and a daughter. So so the Supreme Lord told his Yogamaya potency that transfer the 7th pregnancy of Devaki from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Now, one may think, what is the need of all this drama, right? The child could have appeared directly as son of Rohini? What is the need of first appearing in the womb of Devaki and then transferring to the womb of Rohini? Because Rohini is the eternal mother of Balaram, the elder brother of Krishna. His eternal mother is Rohini, not Devaki. No? So, if she is the eternal mother, then he could have directly appeared in the womb of Rohini. Why he appeared in the womb of Devaki first? Because Balaram, is Guru. He's Guru Tattva, right? The Guru's job is to prepare a place for Krishna's appearance. So, Balram appeared in the womb of Devaki first to prepare the womb of Devaki as a suitable place for the Lord to appear. So, it is out of the service attitude for Balaram to the Supreme Lord that he appeared as a son of Devaki, as a seventh child. But then he was transferred to the womb of Rohini. Now, when this happened, people understood in Mathura that the seventh pregnancy of Devaki was a miscarriage. So, people in Mathura anyway knew that Kamsa was killing the children of, Devaki. They started cursing Kamsa, this nonsense fellow. He was killing all the children. Now he must have performed some black magic tantric ritual to kill the child in the womb only. You know, although Kamsa didn't do anything, he had no hand in the seventh child, disappearing. But they say in Hindi, they're saying, "Bad se badnaam bura," right? The person who's infamous is actually worse than a person who's actually bad. I remember in my childhood, I used to be very mischievous and nefarious. So, and anything happened in the neighborhood, some mischief, people would come directly to my parents and say, "Your son did this." Whether they saw or not, they would just come and say, "Your son did this." So one time I was gone with my brother to Nasik, for touring. So when I was gone, somebody came to home and said, "Your son threw the stone on our roof." So my father said, "He's gone to Nasik for last 2 days." "Oh, is it? Then somebody maybe else." When I came back, my father said, "See, nonsense, you are so infamous." Even when you are gone out of town, people come and complain. So poor thing Kamsa didn't do anything, but because he was infamous. So people thought that he must have performed some tantric yajna and he must have aborted the child of Devaki. And then the Supreme Lord actually appeared in the heart of Vasudeva, and from the heart of Vasudeva he actually transferred to the heart of Devaki. Devaki was kind of initiated, because the initiation ceremony is also something similar to this. Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, "Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan, sei kale Krishna tara kare atma sam." At the time of initiation, a devotee surrenders to Diksha kare bhakta kare atma samarpan. A disciple actually surrenders himself at the time of initiation. And that very moment, Krishna accepts that devotee as his very self. So Devaki, she was kind of initiated by Vasudeva. She received Krishna within her heart, and from her heart, Krishna entered in her womb. Because it was already prepared by Balaram as a suitable place, so Krishna entered in her womb. And when Krishna entered in the womb of Devaki, Devaki became so beautiful, so effulgent. And seeing her beauty and effulgence, Kamsa became afraid, because people in the dungeon, in the prison, they told Kamsa that Devaki is looking extraordinarily beautiful. She's looking so effulgent. So Kamsa came to see her, and when he saw her, he became more fearful that surely Lord Narayan is there in her womb now. You know, so what should I do? Should I kill her now? The child will also be killed. He's thinking in this way, you know. But he's thinking, no, no, if I kill her, what will people say? That I'm so coward? She's in my imprisonment, and in imprisonment I killed her. You know, I had full control. I couldn't even wait for the child to appear. I killed her along with the child. A person who's so cruel, you know, people spit on his name, people, you know, curse that person, and because of such sinful deeds, the person's life duration also shortens. So maybe I shouldn't kill Devaki. And Shukdev Goswami explained that Devaki appeared like, he gives two examples. She appeared like the fire covered by a pot. Suppose a lamp is burning and you cover it with a stainless steel pot. No illumination will come out, right? Nobody can see that there's a light illumination or lamp is burning underneath. Or misused knowledge. When the knowledge is actually always beneficial, right? Like if somebody has knowledge of uh, which particular stocks in stock market will flourish, right? Or which will actually sink. It's a knowledge, right? But if somebody misuses it, you know, that, you know, he misguides people, okay, you invest in this stock, which is going to go bankrupt. That knowledge is misused, right? So that misused knowledge is not very much appreciated, or like, the knowledge of atomic energy. It is used, the originally, Dr. Oppenheimer, who actually invented that energy, his purpose was that this energy will be used for benefits of mankind. But politicians took it and made the bomb out of it, right? So this is misused knowledge. It's not very much appreciated. In today's day and age, people don't appreciate nuclear energy so much that, oh, this has made our life comfortable. No. There's always fear. When as soon as they talk about nuclear energy, there's immediate fear, right? Because nuclear energy means bombs. That's all people know. So misused knowledge is never appreciated. So Devaki appeared like misused knowledge or covered fire. And when she was actually pregnant in the dungeon of Kamsa, the demigods from the higher planets, they actually came down to offer beautiful prayers to the child in the womb. And those prayers are called actually Garbha Stuti. Now it's actually very interesting. You see, when Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna, right, in the first canto of Bhagavatam, we say Kunti Stuti, right? Or similarly, when Bhishma is praying, we say Bhishma Stuti. So now Devatas are coming and praying to Krishna in the womb. You should be saying Devata Stuti, right? But it's called Garbha Stuti. It's not called Devata Stuti. So why is it called Garbha Stuti? No? Because Devatas, they were uh, actually, when they came to pray to the Lord, they were, the very first thing they speak to the Lord is that, my Lord, you are true to your promise. No? Because you promised that you will appear to kill the Kamsa and other demoniac beings on the earth, to relieve the earth from its burden. So they're reminding him that, Lord, you are very true to your promise that you have appeared now. But they are also offering this verse or this prayer to, because they had fear in the mind. You see, residing in the womb is never considered or appreciated in the Vedic, uh, you know, what do you call, scriptures. The scriptures never appreciate us entering into the womb, right? Like Sripad Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam. You know, so he says, uh, if we do not perfect our life by worshipping the Lord, then what happens? Punarapi Janama. We again take birth. And if we take birth, Punarapi Maranam, there will be again death. And after death, there will be again birth. And again birth means Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam. Again we will be entering into the womb. You know. So entering the womb is not considered very much glorious. In fact, Kapila Muni in the third canto of Bhagavatam, right? He explains how much inconvenience the child has to go through. He's floating in the bag of water where there are worms biting his tender skin, right? So the Lord in the womb of Devaki, no, the Devatas are thinking the Lord may change his mind. I don't have to live in such abominable place, right? In the womb is not considered a very glorious place. I don't want to live here. I'll just leave and go back to my abode. So they are just praising him, my Lord. You are true to your promise. So that Lord does not leave, you know. And because these prayers are actually towards the womb or embryo, which is which has become the shelter for the Supreme Lord in one way. You know, the Lord is shelter for everything, but right now the embryo where the Lord is residing appears to be a shelter for the Lord. Therefore, it's very appropriate that the stuti offered to that womb is termed as Garbha Stuti. You know, so Devata has actually offered beautiful prayers to the child in the womb, and uh, the child remained in the womb for the appropriate time to appear in this world. Because when Krishna appears in this world, all the planetary positions automatically become auspicious. You know. In fact, in Vedic astrology, you will find there are two horoscopes which are taught by all the Vedic astrological schools as an example: the horoscope of Lord Krishna and horoscope of Lord Ramachandra. There are two such beautiful. There are so many articles written by some of the best astrologers on the horoscope of Krishna and horoscope of Lord Ramachandra. You know. So everything actually becomes very auspicious when the Lord is about to appear. You know. I think the appearance of Lord we'll discuss maybe next time. We'll stop here. If anyone has any reflections or questions, you can go. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the very nice class. Covered a lot of references and I just don't want to go into much, but it's very comprehensive on the background of setting the scene of Krishna's appearance of Krishna. So I have a question. I have actually written one question, but I'll ask one for now. Um, so you mentioned that Kamsa defeated all the demigods and Lord Indra. Actually, I could not attend the first class, but still it made me very curious how he was able to gain that much power that he even defeated the demigods and Lord Indra.
How he became powerful to
Yeah,
control or conquer all the
and
devatas and
demigods and
demons.
also Lord Indra.
Okay. So in the first canto of Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful verse. What is that verse? Sutta Goswami speaks, Vidhaya Vairam Shwasano Yathananam, right? When the Lord wants to remove the burden on the earth, so if Krishna had to go and kill each demon, then he had to travel, right, to different places. All these different demons were living in different places. You know, that's what we discussed last month's session. Uh, for example, the five wrestlers, right? Shal, Toshal, Chanur, Mushtik, and Kuta. They were all sons of the kings of Mahishmati. So they used to live in Mahishmati. So if Lord want to kill, he had to go to Maheshmati to travel there, right? Or if he wanted to kill Aghasur, Aghasur used to live somewhere near West Bengal, no, in the ocean. He used to live in the ocean. So the Lord had to travel there otherwise, right? Krishna doesn't like to travel. He wants to just stay in Vrindavan, perform his Leela, and make arrangement for them to come. So how that is going to happen? So Krishna empowered Kamsa to become very powerful. So that Kamsa could go and conquer all these demons and create a international society for demons and bring all the demons under one flag and bring him to Krishna. So Krishna can keep killing them. So our God is very lazy. He doesn't like to do hard work, you know. So he makes demon to work hard, go work hard, conquer everyone, bring them to him, and he kills them.
Just like Jarasandha.
Huh?
Like
Jarasan, yes, exactly. Jarasan. Jarasan, he would let Jarasan go, collect more armies, bring, and then kill them. Again, go, bring more army, and kill them. They delegate the job.
so. So for demigods and Lord, I understand the Lord may kind of empowered him. Did he do any specific austerity with that? Like got any blessing from any demigod so that
Yeah,
he
yeah,
can?
yeah. Kamsava, the great devotee of Devi, he used to worship Bhagavati. You know. So he was, therefore, when he saw the Devi's form, he developed reverence and immediately relieved, was, oh, my worshipful deity appeared as the daughter of Devaki. Wow. So he developed some reverence for Devaki.
So you think he got some blessings from?
Yes, definitely. No demons becomes powerful without worshipping some devata. And after they become powerful, they want to stop the everyone else from worshipping devata, so that nobody should become powerful like them. Mhm. Yes, bro.
So regarding demigods, they were thinking to create enmity between. Maybe this is from the previous session. I don't know. I was not present at that. So they were trying to create enmity by instigating Kamsa, right? So generally, Lord will not. You said that Lord will not doesn't want to kill anyone unnecessarily.
Hmm.
Doesn't want to have any war unnecessarily, and then they were trying to create a quarrelsome situation. And on the other side, we know that Lord's all the actions are under the potency of Yogamaya, right? And the Yogamaya is actually is based on the desire of the Lord. So should we understand the demigods arranging the quarrel is also based on the will of the Lord, or it's seen as a
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yes, definitely. It's without the uh, will of the Lord, nobody can act independently. So even the demigods' actions to you know create animosity between Kamsa and Vasudev Devaki was actually the plan of the Lord. Yes, bro. Yes, yes, that is so true. Mm. So yes, Guru makes preparation, and actually the disciple makes arrangement for Guru. You know, that's actually a beautiful pastime that reminds me of Ramanujacharya's pastime. So Shripad Ramanujacharya was, he had many wonderful disciples. So one of the disciple was Kuresh. You know, so this Kuresh, and Ramanujacharya had told all his disciples that never ask Lord Ranganath for liberation. He has given a strict instruction to all his disciples: never ask for liberation or going back to Vaikuntha from the Lord. That is not our mood. We never ask the Lord for that. So Quresh had, what was actually the most dear disciple of Ramanujacharya. He was very dear to him, although he was a grahastha. You know, So there were two brahmachari disciples of Ramanujacharya who actually developed kind of animosity towards Quraysh. Oh, he's a grasta, he's a fallen one, and still he's dear to our Guru. I don't know what wrong with our Guru Maharaj. Why, what he sees in him. Maybe our Guru Maharaj's vision is covered. That's what their idea was. So they used to always go ahead and criticize Quraysh everywhere. So when Quraysh got to know that they're always criticizing me, he actually went to Ranganath and he said, "My Lord, I have two prayers." And Ranganath used to talk to Quraysh. He said, "Okay, tell me, what is your prayer? What two desires you have?" He said, "First desire is I want to go back home, back to Godhead." Ranganath said, "All right, granted. What is second desire?" He said, "I want two more people to go back home, back to Godhead, and that is these two people who actually criticize me all the time." So Ranganath said, "Quraysh, what to speak of these two people? Anyone connected with you in any way is going to go back home, back to God." So Quraysh was happy. "Thank you very much, Lord. You've granted my boons." So when Ramanujacharya came back from tour, Ranganath told him that your disciple Quraysh, he asked me two benedictions. He said, "What? I have told my disciple not to ask any benediction from you." "Okay, what did he ask you?" He said, "He asked me that two boons. One is that he should go back home, back to God." "Oh no. I have told my disciples not to aspire for going back to Godhead." "Okay, what is second boon?" He said he wanted two more people to go back home, back to Godhead. So Ramanuja is thinking, what? I should go to back home, back to my wife and children also should go there? That's what he asked. He said, no, 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 not wife and son. He said, these two people who always criticize him, they should also go back home, back to God. So Ramanuja said, then what did you say, my lord, to him? He said, I told him that why only these two people? Anyone connected with you in any way will attain my abode. So Ramanacharya, when he heard this, he became so jubilant. He came out dancing from the altar, whirling around his chadar. Wow, wow, I'm connected with Quraysh. So the devotees asked, what happened, my lord? Why you are dancing like this? They said, I got to know that I'm going to go back home, back to God. So they said, what? You didn't know before that you are going to go? Today you got to know? He said, yes, because the Lord told that anyone connected with Quraysh is going to back home, back to God. Because I am connected with him as Guru. So I'm assured now I'm going to go back home, back to God. But anyway, so Ramanujacharya, he called Quraysh and chastised him. He said, didn't I tell all my disciples not to aspire for or pray to the Lord for going back home, back to God? So Quraysh said, yes, Gurudev, I know that, but what? Why did you ask that you want to go back home, back to God? He said, my Lord, because I wanted to go there before you go there. Because, you know, whenever you travel to any place, I go there and make arrangement for you to prepare the place so that you can, enliven people in Krishna consciousness. And if sometime I fail to reach, there are not proper arrangements made. So I wanted to make sure that before you reach to the spiritual world to serve Lord Narayan, I should be there to make proper arrangements for you to serve. There shouldn't be any discrepancy. So that was his mood. He wanted to go and prepare the place. And of course, the two other people, he said, because they are always critical to me, I just wanted to make sure that they shouldn't be rotting in this material world. They should also go back to the spiritual world. So yes, the spiritual master actually prepares the place, and the disciple actually assists the spiritual master to prepare that service to the Supreme Lord goes well. It's actually both ways. The spiritual master prepares, and disciple also assists the spiritual master to uh, serve the Lord in a nice way. Mhm. Yes, Madhuri.
When you were talking about Kamsa and how he was praising Devki a moment before the Lord spoke from the skies and his
Mm-hmm.
mood changed completely. I was just reflecting upon like how relationships today um, show the same thing that people are nice, but the moment it stops benefiting them, we see a change in their mood
Yeah,
and how our senses deceive us and how our fears cloud our judgment and intelligence.
that is so true. In the material realm, the relationships actually are so flickery, and which moment, how the relationships will actually take a sweet or bitter turn, we don't know. Because when there is no Krishna consciousness, it is the relationships are so fragile. Krishna consciousness actually keeping Krishna in the center makes the relationships much more profound and selfless. But when there's no Krishna consciousness, the relationships are very fragile and not really trustworthy. In fact, Prahlad Maharaj says in his instructions to his classmates, he says, as many relationships people establish in this world, loving relationships, so-called loving relationship in this world, people establish, they establish those many spears within their heart to be pierced. So, know for sure, whatever relationship we create in this world where Krishna is not in the center, we have established so many spears within our heart, and each spear will definitely going to pierce our heart. It's just a matter of time. When? It will happen invariably. But in Krishna consciousness, the dynamics is a little different. You know? Because Krishna in the center, the relationships, even sometimes they do become bitter, they are not really piercing, they are only to uplift us in Krishna consciousness. But in outside of Krishna consciousness, yes, all the relationships are actually meant to pierce our heart. Very nice point, Madhuri. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
You mentioned that how Mother Devaki she was advised to keep the other jivan to get Supreme Lord as her son, and I think further down in Srimad Bhagavatam it's also said like what kind of pious activities have these cowherd boys done, so the Lord is playing with them. So I was wondering like how does what is the nature of those pious activities which allows them to be even so closely associated with the Lord, although like they are eternal associates, but I didn't really understand how some activity that we can do can force the Lord to, like we can associate with Him that way.
Okay. So when we talk about the punya karmas, right? We're not talking about the so-called pious or so-called punya karmas that are mentioned in the scriptures. Okay. So none of the piety or so-called punya karmas can oblige the Lord, you know, to give himself to anyone. Because Lord is completely independent. He's not controlled by any of the Vedic uh, karma kandya activities. Okay. Devatas are, if you perform some karma kandya activity, devatas are obliged to fulfill your desires, appear in front of you and fulfill your desire. Lord is not. He's not bound by any karma kandya activities to even give darshan to anyone. So when it says krita punya punja, right? The what kind of activities these Brajbasis have done, that they are having the Supreme Lord, you know, with whom they are playing so freely. The cowherd boy, especially playing with the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Brahman. So that punya is not really some pious activity. There, the word punya actually means Like Srila Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Punyo Gandhyo Prithvyam Cha. So Prabhupada translates the word Punya there as original, original fragrance of the earth. Punya Gandha Prithvyam Cha, right? Tejas Vasmi Prabhavasu. Krishna says that. So Punya Prabhupada translates as word Punya means original. So when you say Punya Karma means original activity of the soul, which is to love the Lord. So the Punya Karma that are being talked about there is actually the original activity of the living entity to love the Supreme Lord. So it's only through prema the Lord becomes obliged and completely subdued. He has no power to overcome that love. So Krishna cannot, uh, although he is supreme controller, Ajita, right? But he becomes Ajita Jitopi. Taistriyam Loke, right? Says this Ajita also is conquered. He cannot control somebody. Somebody wants to love Krishna. He cannot, even though he's Supreme Lord, he cannot tell you don't love me. He has no power to control that person, that you don't love me. No. He is actually comes under control of the love of that person. So all one needs to do to bring Krishna under the control is love him. So Brajvasis have natural love for Krishna. And it's through the love that Krishna comes under the control of his devotees. So Brajvasis, their only punya is they love Krishna. They don't know any other punya karmas. Really, really wonderful. So I think,
So you're saying Yashoda's previous name was Devaki.
yeah.
The name got changed to Yashoda because of her ability to attract uh, all the relatives with the good qualities.
Mhm.
Just wondering.
So therefore, when you see sometime gopis calling Krishna as Devaki Nandan, not that they are aware that Krishna was transferred from Mathura to Vrindavan. No, they're calling her Devaki Nandan as son of Yashoda, because Yashoda's name was Devaki as well. That's the verdict of Vishnachari Thakur. He says.
I have one more question.
Mhm.
So we see like demons like Kamsa, then Hiranyakashipu, all of them actually, when kind of time came, they spoke very nice philosophies, you know, to console. Um, Kamsa spoke philosophy to console Devaki later when Devi appeared, and then also similarly Hiranyakashipu spoke philosophy to his mother, when Hiranyaksha passed away. But then it seems like, they act almost contrary to what they are speaking. Is it like, Prabhu, that they know the philosophy but they don't, kind of realize it, just know by namesake, or or they utilize the philosophy to do nefarious deeds? What's the thing? I mean, it seems like they know actually some of the basic philosophies, right? But then they act really contrary to that.
So in the Sanskrit, there's a word called pravachan. Right? Pravachan means to preach. But if you distort that, call it parvachan. Parvachan means you speak for somebody else. It's for you, not for me. Right? So, the Kamsa and all the demons like Hiranyakashipu, they give parvachan, philosophy for others. They don't practice. So although he's Kamsa's, Hiranyakashipu is selling his mother, you know, Diti, and his brother's wife, Vrishabhanu, right? He says,
What's the name?
Vrishabhanu, right? Her name was Vrishabhanu, right? So he says, uh, my dear mother and sister-in-law, do not lament for the death of hero. You know, and he gives this example, right? The soul is eternal and all. If that is the case, then you know your brother is not dead, right? So why you are unnecessarily becoming animal towards Vishnu? Your brother would anyway be gone, right? Dies today or tomorrow, he has to die. He's giving this whole story of, king of, what is that? uh, Suyagya, King Suyagya, the king of northern province, right? And then how at the death of that king, the queens are crying and Yamaraj comes and gives them instruction. So he's giving all that philosophy that, the soul is eternal, right? The body is perishable anyway. So then he should think himself also. But his philosophy is nothing but parvachan. It's only for you, not for me. Yeah. So that's what demons do. They twist and turn the philosophy or use the philosophy only for their sense enjoyment. They don't want to have uh, control of their senses and humility, you know, with their philosophy. Philosophy is only for others.
Got it, bro. Thank you.
Hari, hari. Hari bol.
Thank you, Shankaranand Prabhu, for presenting the pastimes of Krishna very nicely from 10th Canto and Garga Samhita and Vaishnavacharya's commentaries. You all nicely weaved it and very nicely presented it. Very relishable and a lot of information about Krishna and going very smooth like a movie we are watching. Very fun. So we just for everyone, we are having this class from Shankarananda Prabhu every month once it will happen. And we are continuing the flow of 10th Canto. And Prabhuji brings from different scriptures and Vaishnavacharya's commentaries. If you're interested, contact me. This is our third session that we are going. In the first session, we started with a bang. Like everybody very much appreciated it. Second session, the background story of Kamsa, as Prabhuji was mentioning, very nicely elaborated. And now we are entering into the birth of Krishna. Thank you so much, Shankaranand Prabhu,
Hari,
for
hari bol. Oh,
presenting
thank
this.
you. Thank you very much for all the devotees. Thank you very much, Rajivan Proof, for inspiring. I am able to relish as well in all of your association.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari,
Jai
hari.
Shankar Prabhu ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.